Hello YouTube. Right now I want to be doing a video about the Walking Dead TV show versus the comic book series. I'm just going to say how they add up and what's my favorite from the comic books and what's my favorite from the TV show they did different, and just basically get my point of view and everything and what I think is better between the TV show and the comic book. Because I mean, if you read the comic books and you read the TV show, they seem like two different things. They really do in the whole entire Walking Dead universe. So right now I'm just gonna jump right in there and just get my point of view on both and just find out what I find better in a comic book world and what they did better in TV show and all of that. So basically this video is nothing more than a Walking Dead TV show versus comic book. I want to be doing both of them at the same time, and just me explaining which one I think they did better. Like if they did like the prisoners, they may have to prison, find out if they did their story better in TV series or comic books, just stuff like that. So let's start off. Alright, in my opinion, what's in the prison arc, when they were stuck in the prison, well, not stuck, but they lived in a prison and everything and all that. Honestly, in my opinion, they did a whole lot better story in the comic book series than the TV series, because that third season was just, in my opinion, of The Walking Dead, was just really boring. Because when they first got there, Tyrese hasn't showed up or nothing, and Michonne hasn't shown up at the prison or nothing, so it really wasn't really that exciting in the whole prison arc. But in the comic book series, it was like way better, because we know in the TV series they did the 5 prisoners like they did in the comic book series. The only difference is because Herschel only had 3 kids in the TV series and then have 7 in the comic book series. Sorry, I got it all mixed up. We wasn't able to see the serial killer Thomas. Now there was a Thomas, what do you want to call him, in the TV series. He was Hispanic and more like a gang member than a serial killer like Thomas was in the comic book series. So that to me was like less exciting. And how the prisoners in the TV series are kind of like thinking about taking over the prison back. But in the comic book series they actually did, and they had the riot suits and everything about to take the prison back. There was got knocked out their game plan by Rick and everything, and Thomas killing Herschel's daughters in the comic book series and all that. So in my opinion, it was a lot better with the prisoners, with the Rick's group versus the prisoners in the TV series. The comic book series than the TV series, for the simple fact is, they didn't have this weird ass serial killer. The prisoners didn't really try to take back the prison. Well, the prisoners didn't really try to take back the prison in the TV series. So it was just not that good. And plus, Axel was way more better in the comic book series than he was in the TV series. Now, regarding the prisoners and what they did better in the TV series was Andrew. He was the reason T-Dog died. He was the reason Lori went missing for a couple of days on the Walking Dead TV series. And he was also the reason, I wouldn't really say the reason Lori died, but because they wasn't able to get her the right help because he released the zombies in the prison cell. Alright, I already did another video about the comic book governor versus TV governor, and I'm just gonna have to say the TV governor is way better than the comic book governor. So that's just my opinion on that. So is the TV version way better than the comic book governor, Herschel 2, I meant. But anyways, Woodbury was also more exciting in the comic book series than the TV series. For the simple fact is, in a comic book they showed more of the fighting, not cage fighting, but arena fighting with the zombies and everything. And they had Michonne in there killing off a fighter and all that. And also, there's another thing I liked way more in the comic book series than the TV series was the governor losing his eye. Because not only did he lose his eye in the comic book series, but Michonne tore that dude right the fuck up. She castrated him, cut off his arms and everything. well, his arm, and that just made it way better in the TV series. I mean, comic book series. My bad. So yeah, I mean, the whole prison arc and the whole Woodbury thing was way better in the comic book series, because the governor and his men actually tried multiple times in the comic book series to try to take over the prison. But in the TV series, they only tried like twice. Yeah, with Woodbury. Then the governor did find a new group in Martinez old camp and try to take over the prison at the midway season of season 4, which I believe at the ending, of season 4 was way better. The prison arc was way better than the comic book version, just because it was a new group and not the same Woodbury. That's just my opinion. But the one thing the TV version did way better than the comic book version would have to be the cannibals. I know we only seen one episode of like Gareth, the leader of Terminus and everything, and the hunters and all that, but just from that one episode, they did way more better than the comic books, because there's only 6 of them in the comic books, but in the TV series there's like a whole 24 of them. There's Terminus. Like I said, the Terminus wasn't in the comic books, so I believe TV series did way more with the cannibals and the hunters, whatever the hell you want to call them, in a TV series than they did with the comic book series. And that leads me to another group, the Marauders. If you don't know who the Marauders is, the ones that try to take over the road in I believe issue 57 of The Walking Dead, and they try to rape Carl and all that, and it was the same in a series of Joe and his group. But the difference is the Marauders in the TV series was more explored in the comic book world. We actually got names. His name in the TV series was Joe. They had a rule called claim. If you saw something, you had to claim it, and that'd be yours. And that was just way different than the Marauders in the comic books. In the comic books, I wish they would have explored more of the Marauders, but they just had them killed in that one issue, and it was like, man, that sucked. I mean, because it would have been an awesome group to explore more. But in a TV series, they explored more of the Marauders, like Joe and all of them, and Harley and all of them, and basically made a whole new group called the Claimers, and that was just really awesome. They had Daryl, brain twist there, Daryl, and the in their group of the Claimers in the TV series. So they did the Marauders way more better. And another thing that the TV series did way more better than the comic books would have to been the twins' deaths in The Walking Dead. Because Dale and Andrea, they adopted these twin boys, Ben and Billy, and Ben killed Billy, and then Carl killed Ben in retaliation. But in the TV show, it was Micah and Lizzie. Yeah, Micah and Lizzie in a TV show. And it was just way more emotional on a TV show, because Carol actually developed a mother and daughter relationship with these two girls. And to have Lizzie kill Micah, and then just have Carol, say, look at the flowers to Lizzie and just kill her. It was just way more emotion in a TV series than it was in a comic book series. And plus, we didn't get the badass catchphrase of, look at the flowers. Because now, when someone says, hey, look at them flowers, they'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm not looking at those flowers. But yeah, they just did way more better of them in the TV series. And another thing they did way more better in the TV series was their time at Herschel's farm. Because, in the comic books, Herschel, and when he was on the farm, he was really a hard ass after the zombies came out. But when the zombies came out in the, of the barn in the TV series, and they started shooting at him, he was just more emotional and just broke down and started drinking and went to a bar. And basically Rick revived his faith in humanity and the world by going to that bar and rescuing him. And that leads me to another thing at the bar in season 2 at the farm. TV series did better than the comic books, was Randall and his group of 30 men, which we never saw them, but the rest of them. But we saw Tony and Dave get shot in the bar by Rick after they tried to force Rick to tell him where the barn is. Then Rick, shot them, and then Randall and 2 others showed up and started shooting at the bar. And after they had to leave because the zombies started, the walkers, whatever the hell you want to call them, started coming to the bar. and Randall had jumped off and impaled his leg in the fence, and Brick and them rescued him. See, Randall and the rest of the group, rest of his little gang, wasn't in the comic book series. So I mean, they made it way more exciting at the farm in the second season than they did at the farm in the comic book series, for some fact of Randall, and also Shane was there. That's another thing they did better. They made Shane live longer and explored him better than they did in the season 2 at the farm and everything in the comic book series. Because, you know, by the time they went to farm at the comic book series, Shane wasn't alive, but in the TV series he was. So they made him more, in my opinion, way more better at the farm. But, you know, if I have to choose between the Walking Dead TV show and the comics, I'm going to have to be split, but I'm going to lean a little bit more towards comic book series, since it's been there way longer than the TV series. But TV series is really catching up to me, and it just may, after we get done with the hunters and the cannibals at Terminus, it just may be way better than the comic book series. But, you know, we just have to wait. But that's going to be all for right now. If you liked the video, please, by all means, please like and subscribe, because I just like making videos. So that's going to be all for right now. And like I said before in all my videos, please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.